Your brain lies to you every single day, and it does it so smoothly that you never even notice. Scientists have found that your brain constantly rewrites and edits your memories, almost like a clumsy movie editor who keeps changing scenes at the last second. And the weirdest part, you don't get a say in any of it. You might swear something happened exactly the way you remember it, but your brain may have quietly swapped out details, trimmed moments, or even inserted things that never happened. It's unsettling because it means your past, your entire story, is always shifting even if you don't feel it happening. And if that isn't strange enough, let's talk about the sky above you. A typical cloud looks harmless, like a soft pillow floating overhead, but one of them can weigh over 1,000,000 tons. 1,000,000 tons. Just imagine that. Something heavier than a skyscraper is floating above your head right now, held up by nothing but moving air. It's such a normal part of everyday life that we don't think twice about it, yet the reality is absurd. We walk around like everything is calm and ordinary, while a massive sky-sized water balloon quietly drips over us. These two facts alone make the world feel a little less stable and a lot more mysterious. Your brain, your own personal narrator, can twist your memories without you knowing. And the sky, which looks empty and light, can secretly carry the weight of a 1,000,000-ton giant. The world is full of things that feel simple on the surface, but get deeply strange when you look closer. Like, if clouds are that heavy, maybe that explains why they always look like they're judging us from above. But here's the real twist. These are just the warm-up facts. These are the easy ones. Because the next things we're about to dive into, they make unreliable memories and 1,000,000-ton clouds feel like small talk. What comes next reaches into the history of life on Earth and the way we see the universe itself. And compared to that, these first two facts are barely the beginning. Almost every creature that has ever lived on Earth has gone. And I don't mean a few weird dinosaurs or some ancient sea bugs. I mean almost everything. Scientists estimate that around 99% of all species that have ever existed are extinct. That means every plant, animal, and microorganism you see today represents just the tiniest surviving sliver of life's full history. We're basically walking around on the ashes of forgotten worlds. Entire ecosystems rose and fell long before humans even had a chance to show up. It's strange to think of Earth not as a stable home, but as a place where life has been constantly replaced, erased, and rewritten. And while we're talking about unsettling truths, here's another one that seems harmless at first, until you really think about it. Every time you look at the sun, you're not seeing it as it is. You're seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. That's how long sunlight takes to travel across space to reach Earth, so the warm, cheerful sunlight hitting your face right now, it's technically old news. And here's where it gets eerie. If something happened to the sun, if it flickered, dimmed, or even collapsed, we wouldn't know right away. For those 8 minutes, we'd go on living like everything was normal. Birds would keep chirping, traffic lights would keep blinking, life would keep moving forward without the faintest idea that something enormous had already changed. These two facts together paint a picture that's bigger than us. Life on Earth has survived asteroid impacts, volcanic winters, superstorms, and mass extinctions, yet most life didn't make it. And even the star that keeps us alive is always showing us a delayed version of itself, like a live stream with a built-in lag. There's something humbling about realizing the universe doesn't operate on our schedule. It moves at its own pace, and we're just watching echoes of what already happened. But here's the thing, as unsettling as extinction and delayed sunlight are, there's still the simple side of the story. Because once you start looking closer at reality itself, things get even stranger. The everyday world, the lines, the shapes, the reflections you trust, turns out to be way less solid than it seems. And what's coming next will make the sun's 8-minute delay feel almost comforting.
Most of the things you look at every day seem simple and solid. A ruler looks straight, a table edge looks straight, a beam of light looks straight. But here's the twist. Perfectly straight lines don't actually exist in the real world. Not in nature, not in your house, not even in the objects you think are perfectly manufactured. If you zoom in close enough, down to the microscopic level, everything bends, curves, or becomes rough and uneven. Even the straightest looking object is full of tiny imperfections. What looks smooth to us is really a bumpy landscape on a smaller scale. The idea of a perfect line only exists in math, not in reality. The world is messier than it pretends to be. And, speaking of things pretending to be simple, your mirror is lying to you too. Every time you look at your reflection, you're not actually seeing yourself in real time. You're seeing a version of you that's delayed by a tiny fraction of a second. That delay comes from the time it takes for light to bounce off your body, hit the mirror, and then travel back into your eyes. It's incredibly fast. Light moves at around 300,000 kilometers per second, but it's not instant. You've never truly seen yourself right now. You've only ever seen the past version of you, even if it's only a split second old. When you put these two facts together, they make the world feel a lot less stable. The straight lines we trust aren't actually straight, and the reflection we believe is immediate isn't perfectly accurate. It makes you realize how much of what we see is just our brain smoothing out details to make life feel normal. It edits the world the same way it edits memories, quietly, automatically, and without asking your permission. And, honestly, Once you know this, it's hard not to look at everyday things differently. That picture frame on the wall? Slightly crooked under a microscope. That smooth phone screen? A jagged mountain range if you shrink yourself down enough. And your reflection? Always just a little behind you, like it's trying to catch up. But here's the wild part. Distorted lines and delayed reflections are just physical oddities. What comes next? That's when we start talking about living things, creatures that don't just bend reality, but rewrite themselves from the inside out. And compared to that, crooked lines and slow light suddenly feel tame. By now, the world already feels strange. Your memories shift, clouds weigh millions of tons, straight lines don't exist, and even your reflection is running late. But nothing shows how weird reality can get more than the things living right here on Earth. Let's start with something simple, like a banana. It looks bright, friendly, harmless, but a banana is actually slightly radioactive. That's because it contains potassium-40, a naturally occurring radioactive isotope. Now don't panic, eating bananas is completely safe. You'd have to eat thousands in a very short time to even get close to danger, and that's not physically possible unless you're a cartoon character. Still, it's strange to think that one of the most common fruits in the world carries a tiny radioactive signature inside it. But bananas aren't the real star of this part. The real spotlight goes to one of the most fascinating and unsettling animals on the planet, the octopus. These creatures aren't just smart, they're built differently. Scientists discovered that octopuses can edit their own RNA, which is basically the set of instructions their bodies use to function. While we rely on DNA as our master blueprint, octopuses can tweak their RNA after it's been copied from DNA, letting them change how certain proteins are made. In simple terms, they can rewrite small parts of their biology on the fly. Researchers are still studying how far this ability goes. What is confirmed is that octopuses use RNA editing far more than most animals we know. They've been seen adjusting these edits in response to things like temperature changes, which suggests they might be able to fine-tune their bodies to match their environment. That's like having a built-in update system, something we humans wish our phones had. It's a level of biological flexibility that feels almost alien, and considering how strange octopuses already are, it just adds another layer to the mystery. The fact that a fruit can be radioactive and a soft-bodied sea creature can rewrite its own instructions reminds us that life doesn't follow simple rules. There's always something hiding under the surface, something that doesn't fit what we expect from nature. And the weirdest part, we haven't even reached the facts that hit closest to home, because the next things we're about to look at aren't floating in the sky or swimming in the ocean. They're inside you, every second of your life, and they're far more disturbing than a radioactive snack.
Everything in this video so far has been strange, surprising, or a little unsettling, but nothing hits harder than the facts that live inside your own body. And the first one sounds almost unbelievable. Your tongue is extremely strong for its size, and if your brain didn't constantly stop you, you could bite it off. That's a real physiological truth. Your jaw muscles are powerful, your teeth are sharp, and your tongue is soft. The only thing keeping you safe from yourself is a non-stop flow of signals from your brain telling your mouth, do not do that. It's like having a built-in safety lock that never turns off. We don't think about it because the brain handles it automatically, but it shows how much of our daily survival depends on things happening behind the scenes. And here's another fact hiding in plain sight. You shed tens of thousands of skin cells every single minute. You don't feel it, you don't see it happening, and you never notice it. But it's constant. Those old skin cells drift off your body throughout the day and join the dust in your environment. In fact, a surprisingly large amount of the dust in your room is made from your own skin. It's basically a record of everywhere you've been, like tiny biological footprints you leave behind without even trying. People clean their rooms without realizing they're mostly sweeping up earlier versions of themselves. When you think about it this way, the human body feels less like a stable machine and more like a constantly changing system, one that's always updating, replacing, repairing, and defending itself. You're not the same person you were a few minutes ago, literally. Pieces of you have already fallen away, and others are working in the background to keep you alive. The body doesn't just sit still, it's always managing tiny dangers, fixing tiny problems, and switching out old materials for new ones. And somehow, despite all these quiet but unsettling processes, life feels normal. You talk, eat, sleep, and go through your day without noticing the complicated work happening under your skin. It's strange, but also kind of incredible. So after everything we've explored, shifting memories, million-ton clouds, extinct worlds, delayed sunlight, warped lines, slow reflections, radioactive fruit, and self-editing sea creatures, this final truth might be the most surprising. The weirdest things in the world aren't far away. They're not in the sky or the ocean. They're happening inside you, right now, every second.